Oh, wait. Okay.
No, can't wait.
Yeah, no kidding. It says we're live.
Well, it says we're live, and
Yes,
so
we are.
hey, everybody. I'm just sitting here having a. Oh, let's record this here on the go. So, listen, I have seen some of my clients do some pretty amazing things. I have the most impressive clients ever. But every once in a while, you see a little rock star emerge, and rarely have I seen anybody take their business and just shoot out of the gate with the momentum that Miss Karla James has done here. And she started her business. She took a move actually right before the lockdown. Like, what do you do? Like, Karla, what do you do? Like, you all of a sudden you go buy this fancy new salon and you set up. I mean, I know there's costs incurred in that for sure. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden someone comes along and says, "Oh, yeah, so hey, close your doors." Like, how'd that make you feel?
Yeah, that was pretty awful, actually. It was like, okay, we've been open for 2 months. Great. Yeah. So it was a little scary, but it forces you to jump outside your box, right?
Yeah, yeah, well, I guess so. Like, whereabouts do you live?
Drayton Valley.
Drayton Valley, so it's pretty small
Drayton Valley,
population
Alberta.
there.
Yeah, I think we're about 7,000 people ish, give or
Yeah.
take.
Okay,
Yeah.
so just
So
give people an idea, because there's a lot of people in the rural areas or small operations that really think that success isn't for them. That won't work here in this town. That's only
right.
for the city, and so I guess you're there to kind of prove that all wrong. Hey,
Absolutely.
yeah. So how
Yeah.
many? What do you have for staff? Like, who works in your operation? What do you do for services?
So I have 5 stylists and an esthetician and an assistant. And yeah, we perform all hair care. And then with aesthetics, we do all aesthetics as well. So we're pretty fully operating on everything.
Well, you certainly have a lot more room. I know in your last
Yes.
location that you had there was, you guys were pretty crammed in there. You couldn't really get into all the aesthetics and stuff like that.
No, we went from 600 feet to like 600 square feet to like 2,300 square feet. So
Yeah,
we got huge. Yeah, we went big.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go big or
Yeah.
go home.
Yeah.
I had no
It's
idea you
beautiful.
had
Yeah.
5 stylists there. Like, I know that we see a lot of Thai on your
Yeah,
feed.
Ty's here, and Avery is one of our new apprentices that just came out of Marvell. My mom is here, and Leanne Lachance is here as well, and then
Great.
myself. Yeah,
Yeah, Leanne
yeah,
doesn't work very many days though. Hey, so you're kind of,
yeah. She's part time. Her and my mom both are. They're both part time. They're
yeah,
both.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
Okay,
good
well,
for them.
listen, that's really cool, and I just wanted to kind of point out that during this COVID time, I know that I
Mhm.
saw you doing curbside, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of salons really got onto that trend.
Yes.
And there's a couple of things that consumers are really doing different, and so when Carl and I are sitting down and we're just discussing, what could we do that would really change that. And what was so funny for me and so amazing to me personally is here we are having a conversation, talking about a group. And by the time I got to my hotel in Edson, I go on, just I had to check out, see what Beyond Beauty's doing, and bam, she's got like 295 people on there. How did you do that?
Well, I just went on and invited everybody that I could possibly invite and had all the girls get on there and invite their people. And we've had like a pretty decent following, like on our Facebook page, anyways, like on our Beyond Beauty Facebook. And then creating this group, I mean, people were excited and people are online. So that's where they are. During COVID, they were there and they just wanted to reach out and connect. And
And
I
did
had
they
done
ever
it.
do it quickly? Like, oh my gosh, I was just
Yeah,
like,
it
I
was
was
really fast.
gobsmacked.
Well, and then we did to get more people in the group. We wanted to kind of reach out. So we did, I think it was a giveaway where it was like our page or like our group, and then invite a friend to the group. So once your friend accepts an invite, then you both get entered in a draw. So then, yeah, we had like that contest, and that worked really well because we had a ton of people inviting people to the group, and now it's just a big thing that everybody talks about. And I think we're almost at 700 members now. So it just
That's
kind of blew
so
up.
basically you've got your 280 clients, and then you've got like 500 of somebody else's clients, and they're all watching you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
that's like the
Yeah,
deal,
that's
you
it,
know.
though.
And I think that's the beauty of groups as opposed to a page. You seem to be like a group expert. So tell me, were you a group expert, or are you really one of these
No.
people who done is better than perfect people?
Well, you know what? You talked to me about this idea, and you're like, you should start a group, and I was like, I don't really. I'm like not really very techie. I'm not so good at this, and you're like, no, I really think you should. And we kind of talked about some of the statistics and people being online and doing all that, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just throw this together and see what happens, and it just kind of blew up. So I don't know
Crazy.
that I'd call myself an expert, but it's and just reaching out and talking to people. And I find that like really connecting with people, they want to know you. And that's the
Hmm.
thing, is hairstylists, we are intimidating, and people are generally, they don't really know how to approach us. And I feel like if people know me and see that I'm a real human, and I'm not scary, and
Hmm.
that they can come to me with their concerns. And it's funny, I was taking my son to get his learners the other day, and one of the ladies behind the counter, never met her before in my life, she's like, oh my god, you're like a celebrity, I see you on my newsfeed all the time. I was like, oh, stop. Like, it was
You
just
know,
funny.
that's amazing, and I
Yeah.
definitely encourage the salons when I get them to get into this whole group thing, that one of the things that makes you go so high on their algorithms, that if you're going live and you do it,
Yeah.
so well, and you do it so consistently, that pretty soon you will start to appear literally on other people's
Yep.
feeds.
All
Like
the time.
like,
Yeah.
and that doesn't happen with a page.
Yeah.
You need a group to
No,
kind
it
of do
doesn't. And it
that.
doesn't even happen with just pictures, even too. Like, you have to go do the live videos. And a lot of people are scared of them. And at first, I mean, my first one, definitely, I was not comfortable, and I was having like a mild panic attack. But,
Yeah.
now I don't even care. I'm like, you know what? I fumble my words on a good day while I'm doing
Yeah.
clients. Like, this is me. That's it. This is what you get. So when I
Yeah.
talk and I stutter, that's just me. I'm
Yeah.
normal.
Well, you hear about too, like it's really about authentic connection right now. Like
Hmm.
it's not really, nobody wants to see the perfect person on the other side of the camera. And
No.
it's really all of the broken bits and the mistakes you do, why people will love you,
Yeah.
because you do. You just kind of got to get out there. And when I look back at the first lives I did on Rockstar, oh my gosh, I just want to take them down. I don't,
Yeah. Don't.
but
Because it allows you to learn, you know?
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. When
Yeah.
you're uncomfortable is when you learn. That's what I tell my girls all the time. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're,
Yeah, well, that's really good. I mean, so I was talking to you the other night. I was just going through the list because I've been watching your page, and all of these things, by the way, that we're talking about that in a minute, that Carla's been doing. I'm running a workshop on Sunday for anybody who would like to come. It's going to be a free workshop, and I'm going to be going through pre-Christmas promotion. Carla's going to be just killing that right away. Curbside always, 12 day of Christmas. There's a huge trend right now with customization and personalization. And in fact, Carla and I were just discussing, like before we went on here, how if you could take those email confirmations and when you send them out, if you were to say, tell me a little bit about your hair, people love quizzes. In fact, you did a quiz, didn't you, Carla? Or
yeah, we
a
did.
poll?
Yeah, we did. Well, it wasn't even like a poll. It was, we did a giveaway, actually. And so what we did with our giveaway is, we had done it for one of our estheticians. We're, building her business. And we put out this giveaway for a free facial. And the way to enter was to comment with your facial concern. So when they commented with their facial concern, I have dry skin, I have acne, etc. What
Hmm.
my esthetician did is we got her to go on her personal page or her professional page and reach out to these clients that had commented and suggest, make product recommendations and service recommendations due to the concerns of their skin. So what that did is that client got reached out to. They knew they're already entered in the contest, and so she gave them a few products that she recommended. She gave them a little bit of a discount, and reached out, and she got a ton of bookings, and ended up selling some product as well. So it was just nice for them because on their end of things, they saw somebody else from the salon reaching out to them
Hmm.
with their number one concern about their
You
skin,
know,
right?
we're
So
right back to that personal connection again. And I
yes,
don't think that
absolutely.
we just feel in the salon, we don't always feel really comfortable just jumping in and going, hey, you know what?
Yeah,
But when it was really a testament to how interested people are in skincare and whatnot.
yeah,
And what is most bizarre about your booking some facial services with that is any esthetician out there walking right now, or a salon who has aesthetic, every esthetician wants to do skin, they don't get an opportunity to do it very often.
yeah.
So to get aesthetic bookings, that's kind of a score.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to try something totally different. I mean, and you could do the same idea with hair as well. I mean, you could do it with a new stylist. I've contemplated doing
You
it with my
did,
new
didn't
girl.
you?
I haven't done it yet, but I was going to do it with Avery, with our new girl, and just to help her client build. And, then that way that's someone that she could reach out to. What are your hair concerns? What is this? What can I recommend for you? You know,
Oh yeah.
going forward that way. So, I mean, you can definitely like use that in any form that you want to.
Oh, I think that that would be killer because one of the biggest things, of course, is getting your apprentices to to get bookings and to do
Yeah,
different things.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it's just like that personalization. And again, I know I'm a bit of a geek and a nerd, and everybody who knows me gets really sick of me talking about today's buying trends. But honestly, that personalization, that personal touch, that you care and that reach out that you're doing is
Yeah.
enormous. And you were also talking, you had said that when you did that curly hair, you did a one
Tutorial.
for a curly hair tutorials
Yeah.
because tell
Yeah.
me about that one.
So we did one of my clients, I've done her hair forever. She let me do a tutorial on her hair. Just I've had a lot of people ask about curly hair, and I know in this town we've definitely had we get reached out to often about finding a stylist that can do curly hair. Apparently it's a novelty. But so yeah, from I did that tutorial and I've sold a ridiculous amount of product from it. I've gotten I had two new curly haired clients this week even for it. And I mean, I wasn't doing it to build my clientele whatsoever, but it was nice that people were like, oh my God, you can do curly hair. Let me get me in. And, people were struggling for that kind of stuff. And I didn't
Yeah.
even know.
Yeah. Well,
So it was nice.
yeah, and it's kind of like I don't think hairdressers or salons are really aware of the fact that it's kind of an intimidating environment to just walk into,
Yes,
and
it
it
is.
and
Absolutely.
yeah, and so I know that it's kind of like well, even in the world of people, you're sitting there and you're going, I'm never going back to that store again. I'm never going back to that hairdresser. Look what she did. She wrecked my hair, and then all of a sudden they need a haircut, and they go to the evil they know because they don't know what you do.
Yes.
They don't know you at all, and I think that
Yeah.
just that connection that you're making, that people will feel more comfortable,
Yeah. That's just it.
feeling like that you can, meet their needs for sure.
Yeah.
You went
Absolutely.
when you first started, you opened your group. And again, I would like
Mhm.
to really, I just need to point this out. When Carla opened her group, it was literally, where do we push the button? Do you know, like create? You hit create and then you go and you name it, and then it was really not like she just had this high group skill level. This is Carla's very first group. So she was really stepping out in faith that and you
Yeah.
know
You're
what
lucky
was
you
so
got me on Zoom.
yeah, right? And it was so exciting for me because I go out and I'm talking to salons all the time about 195% increase in online e-commerce, and there's a 32% of people polled said that they would pay more to actually buy local,
Yeah.
and easy. Things need to be super, super easy. And I go on and
Absolutely.
on and on about this. And I'm like, you need to open this group. You got to, and she just did it. And it's not like she was just like a, a group guru, but you
Nope.
just jumped
Had
in
no
and
idea.
you just did it. And
Yeah.
when you did your welcome, you did that
Mhm.
little welcome, and then that first promotion you ran blew me away. Like I knew it would work, but sometimes when you
Yeah.
see stuff, especially like for me, I'm always talking about things that I can't find that anybody ever did yet. And so
Right.
for me, I'm like, "Oh, this should be good. This should work." And then I go to the prayer closet and go, "Please let this work." You know, because
Oh,
I
good.
just because I don't really know until somebody's on the ground, like you're in the
Yes.
salon, you're the creative, you're the person. And so because you have them respond in DM, So when you
Right.
go out there and you talk about things, and I think this is good to know because it's not like your feed is all of a sudden filled with a bunch of stuff. They're DMing
Right.
you. And
Yeah.
that first promotion that you ran with plumping, I believe.
Yep, we did some product education on the plumping line. Yep, and I showed how to use a couple different products, and that one was nuts. Like I did not expect that at all, and we had, I think it was $1,500 in sales just from that video alone. I sold so much do over, and it's funny because I had kind of forgot that it existed, and then I was playing with it, and I was like, oh, I got to put this in my video, and
And I
yeah,
popped I popped up a Kevin Murphy because you can get them right off Kevin Murphy's
yeah,
site.
the little,
So
yeah,
for those of you looking for content, you don't have to go on all the time. Like you can go. We I uploaded that right from the Kevin Murphy. I
yeah,
think you found it right on the site, right?
right on the
Yeah,
site. Yeah, we just
and
popped
then
it.
popped it up there,
Yeah.
and
I
I
did
think
that with repair as well and ran a promo with it. And
did you?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right at the end of summer I did. But
yeah,
yeah, it's just really easy just to get right on the Kevin Murphy website, pop it on
yeah.
there, and it's like if I can do it, anybody can do it at this point.
Okay,
So
and the difference between like I always talk about you got to have a call to action.
yeah,
Like the difference between going, "Hey, thanks for looking," or as opposed to saying, "Hey, I think you gave them free
minis.
travel." Right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we gave away minis. Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
awesome because I think that value added, we do not want to get trapped in the discount ditch.
No, it blows people. Yeah, the value added is huge, and
Yeah.
people appreciate it
For
big time.
sure. Yeah, in
Yeah,
fact, most consumers, when they see something discounted, believe it or not, they actually think you were overcharging them before.
yeah,
But if you can, I'm all about like blowout sales, like Boxing Day. Hey,
hmm,
come get this stuff out of here. I got new stuff I want to have. But I think sometimes it's really easy for salons to get caught up in that 20% off and that
yeah,
20% off and more off until people are just
hmm,
waiting for a deal. But
yeah,
you have found a really good balance in that because I've noticed you've done a couple of tutorials now.
yeah,
So you're bringing a different kind of value to your group.
yeah.
Um, so what was I going to say? There was something I was going to touch on that you had done. Okay, so you had done a tutorial. I know you had done one on braiding, I believe.
That was Jaden. That's our assistant who's going to MC in January. So she does some fabulous braids. This girl is, she's going to knock everybody's socks off when she gets going. I
Is
tell you
she?
that. Oh
You know,
man.
I always say, you can teach skills. Skills will come, but when you've got a firecracker or you've got somebody with a good attitude,
Oh, she's phenomenal. You know, she just graduated high school and she's been working with us since Jan. Well, she started working with us with January, and she's just we call her a little ninja, especially with all the sanitizing and all the different protocol. I mean, having a good team is like you need to, because if you don't have that, like you're never gonna, yeah, you'll never get anywhere in this kind of
yeah.
situation that we're in now,
Oh
right?
yeah,
So everybody needs
enthusiasm.
to be on board.
Yeah, for sure. Enthusiasm goes a really long way. The Now when you did back to your that first promotion that you did with the plumping,
Yeah,
you did prepaid. So a
yeah,
lot of people really like the easy curbside, and so
yeah,
I think that you're tagging everything now with curbside always, like always
yeah,
curbside, curbside always, always curbside,
yeah,
so that people are kind of getting used to that whole idea of just being able to place their order with you via DM, and then they
yeah,
actually e-transfer you before
yeah.
you even, right?
Yeah, they e-transfer us before we even actually order it. So we put it on there. They e-transfer. I usually give about 3 or 4 days for pickup. So if
Right.
I do something like that, I'll do it usually like a Thursday, and then I can order Friday, and then I know by Monday, Tuesday I'll have it. Pickups Tuesday, and everybody's good. So it's not worrying about, I mean, this was something that I got from you actually, is like you had said, don't worry, don't stock up and then hope you sell it, sell it
Hmm.
ahead of time. And then that way
Yeah.
you're not having to worry about it as
Yeah, and what
well.
a bonus, right? To be able
Yeah,
to sort of
absolutely.
pre-sell it because all of a
Pre-sale.
sudden, if you have a big run on do-over, yeah, I'm gonna have to bring some of that in.
Oh yeah,
So
it's still is flying off the shelves. And I mean, I did that like a month ago.
isn't that awesome? Well,
It's crazy. Yeah.
I never even thought about this, but the replay value. Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things that you put in there, the tutorial you did on that brand, and the curl stuff that you did, and the
Yeah.
conversation, because I know I saw one on there with you getting your hair done.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
giving a
Ty was
tutorial
curling my
how to
hair. Yeah.
curl with a flat iron, right?
Oh
All
yeah,
of
I did one. Yeah.
right? All of those now are evergreen. So if I'm just new to your group, I'm just kind of scrolling. I mean, what a great opportunity for you to get constant and
Yeah.
consistent sales. But back to that sort of call to action. I think when you go on there and you say this is the plumping, and then you recapped it afterwards,
Hmm.
and I think you even put the prices on there. Did you
I don't think
no?
I think I did in a comment after, like not in the video itself, but I
Okay,
think I did in the comments, or I usually after a video, I usually do like a recap post that'll have like product,
yeah.
like it'll have like art where you can e-transfer to, and then have the cost of the products as well. And I think we even include the GST in it just so that people know exactly how much to e-transfer to.
Yeah,
Because it
yeah,
saves a little bit of time when they're DMing us.
yeah, that's amazing. So listen, I want to talk about something that you're doing like this weekend that is
Okay.
just crazy awesome. You're doing a Christmas in September. So
Yeah.
yay. Tell me, like, did you just like been planning this since last June, or did you just like pull this out of your butt
Yeah,
a week ago?
actually, yeah, I might have pulled it out of my butt a week ago,
You
two
might
weeks
have,
ago,
hey?
maybe. Yeah, yeah. No, my Heather said you should run a Christmas in September. People, you talked your numbers to me about Pinterest and all the things, and then it was funny because I thought you were crazy, for a minute. And then I was like, I'm not doing Christmas in September. That's ridiculous. And then my husband and I went on a date a few weeks ago in the city, and the next day we went shopping. And I was like, ooh, look at this. I'll pick up some stuff for my boys for Christmas. And I'm like, oh
Right?
shit, you're right.
Right?
I'm doing it. So if I'm doing it, other people must be doing it. And then it was like, okay, we're doing it. I made the girls block off a day. And now
Yeah.
my office it's a ridiculous mess of product. And because we decided to launch a couple new things as well. So yeah, we're just giving her.
Well,
And
this whole thing actually is really like it had you expanding. You've got some neat little I saw some bags with like some hand soapy type of products and
yeah, we got into a little bit of
clothing.
that. We were getting into clothing. Yet
Yeah.
we actually did went to somebody local, and she got us making up just some like fun t-shirts and hoodies, and actually some socks, some cute little
Hmm.
things, just some nice little Christmas gifts. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we'll expand from there. But we wanted to
Hmm.
try some of that kind of stuff first because we thought it would go over well. And yeah, so we're launching that this weekend. We just picked up some bodyography, so we're going to launch that. Yeah, we've
Makeup.
got lots
Did
of
you know? I don't know if you know this, but I have to throw in my statistics. I
absolutely.
can't help myself. I was reading like a white sheet, where a white sheet is just like not industry stats, but just the world of retail in general.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that maintained, like I look at the charts in the retail arena, was hair care, believe it or not, beauty products was just on this side of a loss, so we didn't actually
Mm-hmm.
lose. But blow dryers, good high quality blow dryers and makeup, and I think it's all about the Zoom and people being online a little bit more. So you brought
Yeah.
in some makeup, yes?
Yes, we did. We brought in bodyography. Yeah. Yeah, we brought in that. Yeah. So, and we're kind of just giving little sneak peeks of it, which we've been doing, which is getting people really excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I mean, not everybody can come this weekend. I mean, we are keeping it COVID friendly. So we decided to do 50. Well, we decided just with the size of our space, we can have 15 people in here at one time. So they had to book 15 people for half an hour intervals. And then we threw it out there because we thought it might be fun for people to bring their girlfriends and have
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to get it booked up too, right? You don't want to be sitting here. So we did, if you booked a group of 15, you got a swag bag and you got a full hour to shop. So those booked up really fast, where we were fully booked within a couple days. So we have like confirmed, I think, over 90 people coming on Saturday. And we're running it from 1 to 5. So yeah, we've got these groups coming in, and we're going to serve them some wine, and they're getting a swag bag, and we've
So
got some really
you're booked
sorry.
right up then, right? Like all the
Yeah,
slots got
yeah, they're
taken
done. Yeah,
in
they're
like a
done.
couple of days, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That just goes to show you people really are thinking about that. They said 81, this is Amazon now, 81% of consumers have already been shopping and looking at Christmas.
Yeah.
So are you going to do some pre-sale then? Because I know a lot of companies haven't launched their boxes and whatnot. Are you letting people buy things right there, or aren't you concerned about running for the areas where you run out of inventory.
Right.
Not always on the knick-knacky things because those aren't always replaceable. You'll have to get
Yeah.
new, different stuff and circulate it, I'm sure.
Hmm.
But are you just letting people pay those prices and pre-order?
Yeah, if they want to, yeah, we're gonna have we have some little pictures of different just because we don't have them yet, but we got the
Right?
pictures of it up. So if they want to pre-order a few
Like how
boxes, they
awesome would
definitely
that
can.
be? Like when you can literally sell your Christmas box. I know I
Mhm.
have there's a lot of owners out there. They're like, I don't know what Christmas is gonna look like. Are people coming in? Am I gonna sell a lot? Do I need 10? Do I need 10 dozen? Because it's
Yeah,
just so hard to gauge.
it is really hard to gauge, and you never really know. We also put out a little bit of a different promotion this year too for our ladies. So we put out a promotion that if they spend over $500 in retail, that we would give them $100 voucher to the salon. So the reason we did that is also to entice people to spend more, but also when you're looking at it, giving away free product is one thing, but for me to give away a free color, it's not really as much. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we did that, and
As long as your
I
color, now let's be clear, that's going to be with your apprentice if you're giving,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you betcha. So and I mean they could use it for our aesthetic services as well. We like to try to build our girls up when we're doing that kind of stuff. But one of my ladies couldn't come. She had a spot booked and she was here yesterday getting her hair done. And she's like, I'm not gonna be able to come. But do you think that I could maybe like pre-order some stuff now since I did have the spot booked? And I was like, yeah, you know what? Why don't you come into my office and just take a boo at what I got? And so she's looking and she's grabbing this and that and the other thing. And I was like, yeah, just throw it in a bag. And, I'll do that for you. She's been my client for like 15 years. So I don't have a problem doing that for her. Anyways, she's like, and I said, oh, we're doing this promo. So if you want $100 voucher, and then you have to spend over $500. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll take this.
right?
And $700 later, she's like, okay, great, thanks. And I'm like,
I know. And you know what's
great,
so crazy
great.
is people really think that there's no money out there when actually there's plenty. There's four different sets of consumers,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of people who really are they're they're
You
loving the
know,
whole
They are. And something that I've always taught my girls and I've always been told, and I don't know where it ever originated from, but is you cannot judge a book by its cover. You cannot decide where people are going to spend their money. They're going to decide that. So all you
right.
can do is educate them and show them what's out there and what's available. And you let them decide as to whether they were going to buy it or not. You cannot assume because we're in a pandemic, because we're in a recession, you cannot assume
Hmm.
that people are not going to. Drayton Valley hit a really huge recession in the last few years. I mean,
You
we're an
guys
oil
got it.
town. Yeah, we got it hard and we're an oil town. And,
You're on the
you know,
news.
yeah. And from that, I mean,
Hmm.
my business was able to expand. We've done nothing but grow. And, I mean, yeah, we do excellent hair here, but at the same time, if you're not, you can't decide for people.
No,
People are still spending, we have
I
to
went
let
to one
them.
of those timeshare things one time where they
Mhm.
pitch you on the timeshare, and
Yeah.
then we do that little quiz, and he literally said to me, "Oh no, based on your profile, you guys will probably be campers." I went there specifically to buy a timeshare. I regret it greatly now, but he literally closed the book on me. And
Yeah.
I don't always look like I might have disposable income. I'll tell you, my girlfriend, when she's hauling her twins around with her hair undone, is you'd think she didn't have 5 cents to her name, and
Yeah.
she had the money, right? But you just don't
You
really know.
just don't know. You just
No.
don't know, and you can't assume. And the only thing you can do is just put it out there. I mean, what's the
Right?
worst that can happen? No, that's it.
I know. And it's like when you do something like I was talking to a client and I said, do a, because I know that you had done a couple of boxes, and so had
Or
another
yeah,
salon of mine, Copper Lane, and she had sent out her newsletter and she had just made 6 boxes at $400. And what
yeah,
she was using was this rebate idea, which I love, love, love. Now, all a rebate is, for those of you unfamiliar, it's a way to not have to do your discount. So, say if somebody bought a $400 gift certificate, and that's literally what it was. They got a rebate of $40, which is 40 going towards, like they get
yeah,
maybe $440 as a gift certificate. Or if you do it with product, the beautiful thing about a rebate on product is even though the consumer value is $40, you only pay 20. So
yeah,
you're able to sort of really
yeah.
control that.
You're
And so
rebated towards your next one. Yeah,
yeah, and her big boxes, um, uh, were she had 6 $400 ones and 12 $200 ones. She sent out her newsletter, and by 9:30 the next day, they were completely sold out. Now
yeah.
I know you had a similar story.
Yeah, so we did 20 $100 boxes, and I did 10 $200 boxes, and they were sold out in 15 minutes. And I have people, I could have probably sold 50 of the $200 boxes, because I said I would open it up this weekend a little bit. So I may potentially add a few more in there if I feel like it, but
You
I
should.
also don't feel like fighting people
No, you
or
should
having to tell
actually.
people no.
I would really be brave there and maybe go like a $400 gift certificate, right? Because we
Yeah.
think that people aren't going to, but
Yeah.
like if Copper Lane can, then you can. And think
Yeah.
about, you know, that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that 15 minutes should give you a good indicator that you could probably have included more in
I
your.
could have done more. Yeah, I for sure could have done more. But at the same time, I was a little bit skeptical. I'm like, I don't know. But I mean, the boxes that we put together too, though. I mean, there's way more added value than what they're paying.
Sure.
They're getting way more than, that's
I think I
the
saw
enticing
one
thing.
of them, you had a value of like $800 or something on one because it all adds up. You know, you
It
throw in
does all that up.
a
Yeah.
coffee mug and, even those little samples and the trial packs. And I think
Mhm.
most salons today have these types of programs where they can access. And I'm a firm believer, honestly, to anybody that's listening out there, you talk to your consultant. Talk
Yeah.
to whoever you're doing business with and
Yeah.
work really tightly with one company. You'll find get you just get more support, and don't be
Yeah.
scared to ask,
Yeah.
what they have, because most companies will have things that are available to them in their merchandising area or their
Yeah.
travel area or free mugs. Like everybody's got stuff that
Yeah.
every distributor has stuff. So I
Yeah.
think if you lean into that a little bit, hey.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. You have to use your
Oh,
resources.
it's nobody lives in this world alone. I'm just
Mm.
so sure of that. Like, and I know that there's such a symbiotic type of relationship between both manufacturers to distributors and distributors to salons, because in the end, the manufacturer's not going to succeed, the distributor's not going to succeed
Yeah.
until you do. Like,
Yeah.
there's no value in selling you soap if
Yeah.
if you can't sort of
Mhm.
support the salon's ideas. And so I'm sure that your distributor is super excited to support you when you're going out there and you're just like, reaching for the stars. So impressive. So there was just a couple of other things that I really noticed. I noticed on that skincare share, by the way, that you had 800 and you had, there's one of your posts had 1.5K views, 12 shares, and I noticed you got a really high amount of that on your skincare. So I just, again, thought that was
I was like,
super.
I don't know which one that is.
850 views on the one with you and Sabrina.
Oh, really? Well, it's because Sabrina's so good. She's just awesome.
Esthetician. So that was pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, but
You
I
know
think
what? She's my girl. She's got her shit together. I tell you, that girl does some amazing stuff. So
yeah.
estheticians are underrated. I tell you.
Right? So, have you thought about, like, I know like this is your first endeavor into the season. So as
Yeah.
we get into like October and November and December, I know we've got Black Friday coming out, which is going to be
Hmm.
huge. And most distributors now, instead of just giving the salons deals, definitely working on giving you things so that you can offer things at events. Have you thought of, like, one of the things I really promote, and we've had lots of discussions about this, and it's a little tricky to try to maneuver, or it feels huge, like it feels like a lot of work, though I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be, would be to do things online, to be able to run actual virtual events. For example, like on the day that you're doing that event, this, are
Yeah.
you going to have somebody who's going to be going live on your, I'm assuming you have somebody like your mom or you occasionally that will be going live and offering these specials to people to purchase, um, to pre-purchase with DMing.
With this one, we're not, but because we're running two, so we're doing our Christmas in September. But when we do our one in December, we're going to do an afternoon of being here, and then we're going to do an online evening event as well. So in
Yeah.
December, because I threw this together and was not as prepared as I'd like to be. We're not doing it on this one, but on the next one, that is our plan, is to have an evening event where we are having people go live.
Because you know what would be so great is if you were to do, because I really do believe in the virtual event,
Yes.
online event, and I think that if you had your clients in your group, um, uh, do that Facebook Watch
Yep.
where you got a watch party, and you
Hmm.
were able to show, like, I think even just as an experiment, because you never know till you stick your toe in.
Yeah.
When you have people kind of going around, I think if you went on, you should just try it live, just
Hmm.
a couple minutes here and there, because people are probably, well, maybe not this one because you haven't advertised it, but going forward, because I think a person could do two or three Christmas events, like do an all virtual event in
Oh, for
October,
sure you could. Yep.
right? Where you're going to
For
say, "Hey, everybody, stay tuned on Saturday from 1 until 5. Every 15 minutes, we're going to be showing a new
something.
thing."
Yep.
That you should be able to just sort of like kill it. I would think. I would be
Yeah.
watching. I would
Yeah.
be watching.
Yeah.
Not
No, for
not
sure.
particularly because I'm not going to buy hair care from you because I got my own connection.
I was like, I feel like I could maybe get you to. No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe you probably could because you got some other fun stuff there now. So one more thing here, your give back. Okay, because I really
Right.
believe, and I've talked to people about this long before COVID. The salons
Hmm.
in every town, and any survey will show you this. The real successful salons are the ones who actually make community connection.
Right.
Whoever is making the strongest community connections in their town wins, whether they are running a cancer run or whatnot. And if you are community connected, when all of the evil naysayers get online and start slapping you, the community that gets on and defends your ass. So
Yeah.
that community connection is so, and right now consumers are now starting to do business based on the places they do business and the
Yeah.
brands they do business with
Yeah.
on their social mores. So if you look at 11 Australia, they've got such a strong presence in the rescuing women and children from
Mhm.
slavery, human slavery, and Kevin Murphy and his position on the environment
Yeah.
and all of those things. If I'm a consumer, those are starting to matter more and more and
Absolutely.
more. So how did you pick your charity?
Actually, well, like we have a couple different charities in town that I personally feel strongly about. So we're running one in October with actually the animal shelter in town. And so we're going to be running something with them, and we're actually going to all go down there and do a live, and the girls are going to play with the cats, and
Oh,
we're
stop
gonna
it.
hopefully, yeah, we're going to hopefully get some animals adopted, and we're going to obviously donate some proceeds to that. This last one that we did, so I did up those, I did a box before the Christmas boxes. I did a prototype kind of box just to see how it went. And I did from every box that we had, I did $10 of that would go to a local charity. And then we did a poll, and the people who actually purchased the boxes, they got to decide where it went. So this year it went, we actually had a tie. So we went to Stockings for Seniors, which is a community thing where they do up stockings for all the seniors in the like the older like long-term care and whatnot. So they
Mhm.
do up that, which is just awesome. And the other one is goes to the schools for their breakfast programs, which also hits near and dear. I used to run that for my kids when they were younger, and so I loved that it's
You
going.
know,
Our money's
I
going to
think
go to that.
connecting with something that you really love. It's like I was talking to a salon owner in Red Deer, and she's like, "Well, listen, we don't like kids here, but we really really like animals. So we're not going to connect with the kid, like
Yeah,
brothers and sisters, but I just thought that was really funny. But
it is funny.
I think connecting to something that, especially something you could let your consumers kind of pick
Yeah,
something that was important to them. And
yeah,
I think
absolutely,
that to have an ongoing give back to your charity of choice
absolutely.
is
Well,
just
we've been, I mean, I've been in this community for 20 years. And I mean, this is the community that like I live in, I raise my children in, and I want to be part of. And so giving back to the community that has done so well for me and my
right.
family, I mean, it's very important. And I don't know, I don't know other salons in town that do that, because we have an astronomical amount of salons in this town. And
Every
it
town, by the way.
yeah, I know. It just, there's so many, right? And it's just
Yeah.
I don't know any that do it. And I mean, if they do, great. I don't hear about it, but
Hmm.
I want to just give back. I think it's so important, and
It
there's
needs
so
to be
many great.
genuine for sure.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I was reading up on, because I'm trying to sort of create a different have a more online presence, because I think anybody who is not ignoring that, they do it at their peril, because
Yeah,
there's more
absolutely.
connection now done this
Oh,
way, but
it's
people want to,
crazy.
they want to really truly connect. And they were saying to take those quotes, like I fell face first into the Pinterest inspirational post page. It was
Yeah.
like 2 in the morning and I'm just like crying. Well, not quite, but there's things that really resonate with me. And
Hmm.
I think, and they were saying too, because a lot of what is on your pages, there's a lot of business going on there, but I think it would be, I would love to see your personal on there, like to find those things that matter to you and the why.
Yeah.
Like you're telling me now about 20 years in your community and how you've worked with that. I mean, your kids have gone to those schools. See,
Yeah.
those are the things about Karla that, I think really move people.
Yeah. Well,
So
we'll see.
expose yourself. Expose
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess. Hey, let people get to know you a little bit.
You know what? I changed my handle. By the way, follow Karla on Instagram. Karla, what's your handle there?
My like the Beyond Beauty is Beyond Beauty DV, or at Beyond Beauty DV, and then my personal, not my personal, but my professional page is at Karla. It's Karla with a K underscore stylist.
Yeah.
Is yeah, is my
Yeah,
hair
follow
page.
this girl. Yeah. So I opened two different Instagram handles. One was the Simple Salon Solutions. So
Hmm.
that's kind of like this little extra thing that I've been I just think salon, I think you can find ease. None of these things were hard to do, were they? Like,
No, no, it's really listening
yeah,
to someone who knows what they're talking about.
trends.
And yes,
Yeah.
it is. And there was a long time where I mean, I'm gonna say it. I told Heather, I'm like, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it. I'm not doing it. And then COVID hit, and it's like, well, now I get half the amount of people in my chair and double the cost because
Got
of
to do something.
everything else, right? So something has to change. Something has to be different, or my beautiful new place that I just opened is gonna go under. So something
Well,
has to happen.
It's
So
true. It's like when things are changing, it's really easy to want to carry on and do things, the way that you've
the
always done.
yeah,
But and change is really difficult. But I read something really interesting the other day, and it says it was, if I told you that everything in your life was going to be exactly the same in 5 years, how would you feel about that?
yeah, no,
Like, not good. And so
no.
when you look at all these changes that are happening, and you look at hairdressers who are have got longer time between their appointments, and here's what's I know to be true. This isn't like I don't know everything, and that I don't, and this I know to be true because I belong in little groups all across Canada, and I belong to joined a group that actually has people all the way down to Australia. Every single internationally and across the world, salons are slow. So if you're not, well, kudos to you. But the reality is when you're having to like do that block off for that full time, and women over the pandemic, they went 4 months, so they don't need 4 weeks anymore, do they? Like
Oh,
clients who are
everyone's
going
embracing
great.
their gray. Yeah,
And what
everyone's.
about the stylists who decided to stay at home and just there?
Yeah,
I mean, you didn't see that, but we see that all over the place. They just didn't
yeah,
come
no,
back. They
yeah,
decided to
no.
do that. So I think being proactive on that was so you just
You
just
you
jumped
have to
right
you
in.
have to make the time to do it. If you want your business to succeed, you have to try something different. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not overly comfortable on social media as it is, and I'm you can ask my girls. I'm constantly asking them, like, how do I do this on Insta
Right?
again? Like, what button do I push? So
Hmm.
I mean, I had no idea what I was doing, and I had the girls help me, and I had you help me out, and just
Yeah.
jumping on and doing it has made a huge difference in
Yeah.
how I do business. And I mean, my whole goal was to step back from the chair to begin with. I mean, I was exhausted before COVID hit, and like coming back, I mean, it's bittersweet. It's nice to be a little bit more steady and just a little bit more like calm and tame, where it's allowing me to actually build my business the way I want to and do all of these ideas that I've had that you and I end up on the same page, because I'm like, oh hey, what about this? And you're like, hey, what about that? And we
Yeah.
just
Like that subscription box thing. I mean, we don't even have time to get into all of
oh,
the things
I
you're
know
doing.
that's crazy. Yeah,
I know, and you're really enjoying that though. Like to
I
come in
am. It's fun.
when I talk to you, you're so excited now. And I think one of the things that we see with owners that's so sad is you can't really take time off because
No,
you're the major financial
backing
backing,
of everything. Yeah, yeah,
right?
you
And
don't.
so you take
Yeah,
you out for a couple of weeks, and someone ain't getting paid. Just
yeah,
saying.
no,
And I
for
think
sure.
that a lot of times to try, I mean, my heart bleeds for owners. It
Yeah,
bleeds for owners. I can't remember the last time I went into talk to anybody about anything other than success of the owner. And I've always felt that owner to consumer connection
Yep.
was important, more important than, I know there's a lot of hairdressers, don't hate on me. Uh, I think it's more important than the owner stylist, because as an owner, you're constantly building up your stylists, and you build them and you train them and you
Hmm.
teach them and they do, and then yeah, and everything's going great. And then they all leave and open a salon or get
Yeah.
pregnant or move to Ontario.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, boom.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you definitely see that, and you have to expect it. But that's why, this is kind of great because stepping out and doing something different, like the boxes or whatever. And like, we've talked about, or like you've said, building your brand and building the salon to be what you want it to be, um,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
is what it is. Like, I want to be, I've always wanted this for the salon, and now it's really coming to light now. Is I want to
Yeah.
be different than everyone else. I don't
Yeah.
want to just be a small little Drayton Valley salon. That's not what I
Yeah.
want. That's not the
No.
atmosphere we give off. That's not the work we put out. That's not what I want.
Right.
I want us to step out. I want us to be different. And I want people to be like, holy,
But
like that's where I want to
to be
be.
able to have that little bit of peace and that space for you to be able to pursue the dream that you once had
Hmm.
about opening it up and not just having to go in there. I mean, I remember the day I decided not to be a hairdresser anymore. Like
Yeah.
my salon, I ended up just having to sell it because 12 hours on my feet and there's
Yeah.
just no life.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. And it takes away time from your family. And, like I have
Yeah.
3 kids and
Yeah.
husband, and like it got to the point where like I was here till 9 o'clock every night. And
Yeah.
now it's a lot easier to step back. And we've got other things happening
Yeah.
that are generating this income that is allowing me to just step back and remember, what COVID has taught us is that there are some really important things out there that are more important than work. And not
Right?
that the business isn't important, but like my kids, like my oldest is 17 almost, and like
Mhm.
he's going to be gone soon. And my daughter's turning into a teenager. Like, these things are happening, and it's
Yeah.
scary, and it's like I'm gonna miss out.
Yeah.
So
I think that we need to pursue, I loved, I could do COVID all over again, just saying, if there's another one, I'm like in,
yeah, when do
but
we ever get 8 weeks off with
right. It was just
nobody giving a shit for doing it?
right. And
I
that
didn't even get the
moment,
time off when I had babies.
right. And that moment in time, though, you really get to stop and think about the things that truly matter to you. And
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
we need to start squeezing our work in around our lives, and that happier people just produce better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know
Yeah,
you
for
don't
sure.
really need to do that? So that was all like really I'm just so excited when I see, and just even talking to you because I've known you for a while. You've got such a light spirit about you, and you're just like, it's like you're having a blast. You know,
Try to have fun.
and now when you got a new idea, it's like, oh, I'm gonna try this now. Do you know, like once
Yeah,
you kind of got your feet wet, it's just like, yeah, okay, well, let's, because you know what, sometimes
yeah,
like I know when we were talking, I'm like looking at, and there's so many different things that you've done, and I'm like,
yeah,
so where were your big successes, and what ones did
yeah.
you see really good? And I think that through
Mhm.
this whole process, you've really learned too
Oh,
what
absolutely.
what
Yeah,
your
you learn
consumers really wanting.
every video, like every video you do, every promo you do, everything, you learn something from it. You're like, okay, so I'm going to do this different, or this worked
Yeah,
really well. And I mean, you know what? I talk, these people that are on there watching me, a lot of them are our clients. And I'm like, I talk to them, be like, hey, like, what do you think of the video? Like what would you want to see
yeah,
differently? Was there something I should, whatever?
yeah.
And, people's feedback is good. And you know what? Like,
You,
constructive criticism.
Sure. You know what's really interesting? I don't know. I haven't had a chance to like read all your. I noticed that you are getting feedback, but I would like to mention to people when I post in Rockstar Salon, because I didn't open it. I just opened it like 40 people just for my clients to keep them like looped in. So it's since grown into something else, and there's no inter. I mean, that's not really built that way. This group here,
Hmm.
I never did built it for a lot of like hairdressers to come in and ask what hair color to use. It was really going to
Yeah.
be an information type of situation for salons, but uh, it's like crickets. So when I went into my salons, I'd be like, "So are you watching these, or am I just being stupid?" Because you start to feel. I mean, I was just feeling stupid, and
No,
you do get over that though. Like
you do. Yeah, you do. You get over it. Yeah, you do. You just do it. Just
now, I
jump on
don't
and do it.
care. Yeah,
No, you can't. You
yeah.
can't care. And
No.
that's the thing. I know my girls, when I'm like, hey, come do a live with me, they're like, oh, no, I don't want to. And they're like having like a panic attack in the back room. And I'm like, just get your butt over here. Like,
It's a
you're
little
not
bit
going
of
to
fun.
see anybody.
It's a
Yeah, I'm
little
like, it's
fun, isn't it?
fun. It
And
is fun. It's
you know
fun.
what you find is I just find the more that I'm authentic, because like my new handle is now Heather Coolis underscore unapologetic.
Yeah.
So that's the new ending I put on there, because I don't think people want to see filters on your face and in your soul, you know?
No,
So
no,
I think,
absolutely not.
right, you just got to lay it out there and know that you're just not going to be for everybody, and that's okay too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
I think I
Carla,
have a
listen,
shirt.
I'm going to let
Yeah.
you go. I've had you for almost an hour, and
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to this community here. I think that sometimes we get in our minds the things that will and won't work. And I think that it's in our minds when we say people won't do that in this town, or that's too much money, or people don't have this, or, you get all kind of COVID. And I was reading something really interesting yesterday or day before, where it was like 80% of the thoughts that you had today with thoughts that you had yesterday, and 95% of those thoughts were negative. I cannot believe what an idiot percentage person I am. It's like my nerd spot. So if you ever want to know what's going on in the buying community, but honestly, if you can figure out what the consumer wants and just give it to them, then
Yeah.
you're going to absolutely win. So again, Karla, thank you so much. Follow this girl, see what she's about. I don't even think she minds if you pop your head into the group. You
Yeah.
don't
No,
mind.
come on. It's
So
Drayton Valley Hair Beyond Beauties.
yeah.
Yeah, pop on and come and see
So
us be
so pop in
ridiculous.
there
So,
and see what it's about. One of the things that's so
mhm,
beautiful about this account is she's really open to, she wants to lift up the entire community. Do you know, like, of hairdressers out there? And so she does welcome
mhm,
you if you want to stick your little nose in there and say, "What up
absolutely.
with Carla?" Definitely go and see it. And just a little reminder, this Monday from 1 o'clock until 2:30. I'm going to have a workshop. I'm going to be running a workshop, and we're just going to talk through some of these things. And I also have a actual walkthrough for groups. And I'm talking, I screen share and go, okay, click there, and I screen share it. So you don't be intimidated by it. And I think that even for yourself, Carla, you did stuff like you can go in and change it. You know,
Yeah.
where's the description is like my description in Rockstar now isn't what it was when I started, because it's a
Yeah.
different group now. It
Yeah. Yeah.
evolved
You can
differently.
change it and do whatever you need to. It's really easy. So easy
Oh yeah, right.
that it's like, and I mean, even when you said you're like, you have X amount of followers, I'm like, oh, I do? Like, oh, neat. Like, that's cool. Like,
Right?
la di da, I have no
Well,
idea what's happening.
it's because
Yeah.
I've been reading about analytics a little bit
Hmm.
lately, and so you want to see what it was that people really enjoyed, and then keep
Yeah.
doing that. So I really
Yeah.
recommend that you do go take a quick look down them, and click the analytics if you haven't. By the way, this is fun and this is just new. Go click the analytics button on your group,
Hmm.
and it will show
Okay.
you exactly which feeds your people really dug.
Hmm.
Where you're getting the
Let's look at
views
that.
and what it is that they want, because then that basically tells you more of what
Where to go.
you'd like to
Yeah.
give them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
anyway, you have a great night, Miss
Thank
Karla
you.
James, and again, thanks for coming on. And
Yes.
good night to all of you rock stars. Follow Karla, follow me, Heather Coolis at Unapologetic. Night.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'm gonna do it.